Welcome to the Polycandrous Yoga Studio. Today we are gonna do 30 to 45 minute Hatha Yoga session. All you need today is your mat, something comfy to wear, and for your Shavasana perhaps a cushion or a blanket or both. And let's start right away. So this is a relatively fluid session. So you need relatively good flexibility in the body for this, but you can always leave out the poses that are not accessible. We're starting standing today. Excuse my sunglasses again, it's about midday here, so the sun is very bright and I can't really see very well in the sun. So let's come with feet hip width apart. Feet hip width apart gives us a better stability on the mat. The toes are nice and spread, the knees slightly bent, and your pelvis is in a natural extension. We are lifting up through the spine, through the crown. You can give your shoulders a little roll upwards and backwards. And neck is aligned with the spine. The face is nice and soft. The arms hanging loosely by your side. And just taking a few moments to arrive on your mat, becoming still, allowing the sensations of the outside world to fall away, noises, smells, foods, to-do lists, letting everything drop away. Tuning in with your yogic nasal breathing, inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling through the nose. If it resonates, you can do 3 changing breaths. I always like to do that at the beginning of my practice. 1 deep inhale through the nose and exhaling through the mouth 3 times. Another few deep inhalations and exhalations through the nose, trying to slow down the breath, finding steadiness in the breath, directing the breath into the belly. On the exhalation, fully emptying the lungs. Starting with the movement, rolling the neck towards the right, back, left and front. Bringing movement into the neck, just exploring that full rotation in the neck. And in the opposite direction, towards the left. Coming to center, releasing the neck back to center, releasing the arms by your side, nice big shoulder rolls back and upwards. So the whole rest of the body stays as it was, with the knees in a slight micro bend, and just exploring that full rotation of the shoulders. Really finding that nice open chest, broad shoulders, and switching direction forwards. Anytime you feel like it, exhaling fully through the mouth. Releasing excess energy. And coming back to center. Let's reach our arms up towards the sky, interlacing the fingers and turning the palms up. Giving your upper body a swing left and right, maybe a twist, whatever your body is asking for, loosening up and lengthening up towards the sky. Spending a few moments there. Finding length, steadiness, and releasing the arms by your side again. Maybe give your shoulders another little roll, wiggle. And let's reach the arms up again, and this time we're bringing our hands to the elbows. Notice which hand is in the front and which in the back. So just creating that frame around our heads, finding nice elevation through those elbows as best as we can. You could also alternatively interlace the hands and extend the index fingers, cross the thumbs. That's usually slightly more intense on the shoulders, so if you prefer, you can have that frame. I'm going to do the frame today. From here, we're going to release the elbows, arms towards the right, and the hip is coming out towards the left. First, finding that side stretch. I like to have little bounces in the movement to allow my body to really feel into that extension. So you don't need to be static necessarily. So I have little bounces first and then come into the steady slowness. Really finding that banana half moon shape. Allowing the body to soften into that extension. Finding that nice grounding through the feet. And inhaling, coming back to center. From here, we're going to swap the arms up and over. Bringing the other arm towards the front. And switching to the other side. So releasing towards the left this time. Dropping the hip out towards the right. And finding that banana half moon shape once more. Nice elevation through the elbows. Again, you can do those little bounces to start with. Not forceful, just really giving your body the time it needs to find that extension. And coming back to center. From here, if you want, you can interlace the fingers, and we're finding a back bend. I'm turning towards the side so you can see. So the feet are nice and steady, hip widths apart, firmly grounded. The neck is gently held. The arms and ears are not connected, so we are gently releasing backwards into that back extension. Slowly, gently. Keeping that breath going. And from here into a forward fold, slowly folding from the hips. Finding a full forward fold. You can walk your legs out slightly to find that full flexibility in the hips. Releasing, relaxing down. Nice elevation through the tailbone, the knees slightly bent, feet firmly grounded. Just having a few breaths there. In your own time, the arms can be on the mat, on the legs. You can bring hands to elbows. You may even want to rock yourself gently side to side. And sometimes interlacing the hands behind your neck can feel a nice extension as well. Really allowing for the blood flow to nourish your organs, your brain, in this easy inversion. Releasing the arms wherever they were, allowing them to hang, and next inhalation, slowly, gently peeling back up, one vertebrae at a time. Reaching up, palms together, back extension. And coming back to center. Bringing hands into heart space, just resting for a moment, closing the eyes, steadying breath and heartbeat. Next exhalation, releasing your arms by the side, inhaling, reaching up, back bend if you like, and hands back into heart center, finding chair pose, sitting into that imaginary seat, and finding elevation through the spine. The hands can be in the heart space, or they can reach up towards the sky, whichever your preference is. So arms and hands reaching up, or hands in your heart space. If you like, and if it resonates with the body, you can come into a twist or just hold here your chair. If you want to follow into the twist, the left elbow to the right leg and looking out towards the right side. Right elbow reaching up towards the sky, palms have got a good push on top of each other. Breath is deep. And switching sides, bringing the right elbow up and over to the left leg, looking out towards the left side, palms pushing on top of each other. Left elbow reaching up towards the sky. And exhaling, releasing the arms down, full forward fold once more. Find the placement of your hands, arms, either dangling, placed on your legs, on the mat, hands to elbows, whatever feels good. From here, we're placing the hands into the mat and stepping back into a down dog. Find your down dog. Nice length through the upper body, fingertips to tailbone. The whole upper body is nice and stretched, the neck is relaxed, the chest and heart space releases back and down towards the mat. Tailbone reaches back and up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Your legs, you can walk out or be still, heels off the mat, knees bent, or you can have your knees locked out and reaching the heels towards the mat, being nice and gentle with your legs. From here, let's come into a fluid movement, into a plank to start with. In plank, we want to have the wrists underneath shoulders, pelvis slightly elevated but not higher than the shoulders, feet hip width apart, reaching back through the heels. And from there we are going to transition into an up dog, looking up towards the sky, pelvis releases down, so knees and pelvis are just floating above the mat, just holding, wrists underneath shoulders, and then doing it more fluidly. So down dog, plank, and up dog, just in your own time, with your own breath flowing in that rhythm. Plank, up dog, down dog, plank, up dog. If it's too intense, just come into a child's pose for a few breaths. Last one, plank, up dog, and coming into a down dog. Holding for another few breaths there. And let's walk our toes together, knees apart onto the mat. So knees release down towards the mat, toes together. And let's stretch that upper body. Stretching the fingers out, arms out, long, forehead to the mat. You can sit back towards your heels and really finding that length through the upper body. Just resting the arms, the shoulders for a moment. Let's come into a side stretch from here, walking the arms towards the right side. Right arm is folding from the elbow and the left arm is reaching up and over towards the right side. Forehead can be resting on your right forearm. Really feeling into that whole extension of the left side body. Breath is deep, really breathing into that left lung. You can walk with fingertips, the left fingertips up and over towards the right side a bit more. Releasing left hip back towards left heel at the same time. And switching up and over to the other side, walking the arms over towards the left. Bending left arm, resting forehead on left forearm, the right arm and hand reaching up and over towards the left side. So you can really walk those fingertips forwards and releasing the right hip towards right heel. So there's that nice counter traction, breathing deeply into your right lung. Finding that whole side extension from your right hip to your right fingertips. Next inhalation, coming back to center onto all fours and walking yourself forwards. Preparing for a cobra pose, coming onto your belly, hands underneath shoulders. The legs are fully relaxed. The pelvis stays connected with the mat. The hands just have a super gentle connection. Chin is resting on the mat. We are going to do a dynamic cobra, so we're working with a breath here. On the inhalation, we are coming up. And exhalation down. A few more times, inhaling up. Not using your hands, it's belly and back muscles. And exhaling down. Couple more times. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Last time. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Peeling toes under, coming back onto all fours. And finding your down dog from there. Few breaths in down dog. You can either stay in your down dog supported by both arms and legs, and if you want you can raise the right leg up towards the sky, finding nice length from fingertips to big toe. One-legged dog. Breath is deep, really pushing into those hands, using the whole surface of a hand to yourself and stepping the right leg forwards in between your hands. You can also use the hand to support yourself if you can't manage to come forwards. Left knee to mat. Right leg we have right knee above right ankle. I like to have both my hands on the inside for lunge pose. So we want to really relax that left hip down towards the mat and have right ankle and knee adjusted. Let's just have a few breaths there. Really allow that extension of the left hip and quad. Hands supporting. If you want, you can either stay there with hands supporting on the mat, or you can come up, resting the arms on your right knee, or just behind the knee. Or you can reach back and up, coming into the full low lunge. If you bring the arms up, just be mindful that you don't bring the pelvis backwards, so the pelvis stays relaxing forwards. Breathing deep. Let's bring hands either side of front leg and releasing the right leg long. So we're rocking that pelvis backwards. Right leg becomes long. You can flex your right foot with the toes pointing back towards the body. Pelvis sitting back towards that left heel, and you can release the upper body, walking the hands forwards towards that knee, towards the right knee. So forehead can release towards that right knee, brings in more stimulation for the runner stretch for that right hamstring. Breath is deep. So if the stimulation is too intense, unflex your foot or bring the upper body up. Rocking yourself back forwards. Bringing the hands into the mat, stepping the right leg back and coming into a down dog once more. Breath is deep. Nice length for that upper body, neck not engaged, nice and soft. Pushing into the whole surface of the hand, fingers are spread. And if you like, you can bring the left leg up towards the sky. One-legged dog, nice tread. And we're stepping left foot forwards in between our hands. Use your hands to support yourself if you need to. Right knee to a mat floor. And again, I walk my left foot outwards the left side a little bit to create some space to have my both hands on the inside. Again, we want to really rock that right hip forwards and downwards, so we get that stimulation in the right quad, right hip. The left leg is aligned so that ankle is below left knee. Breath is deep. Spending a few breaths here, noticing where in the body you feel the sensations most. And if you want, you can bring the hands either up to the left leg, so we always rest behind the knee, not on the knee. Making sure we don't lose that engagement. Release down of the right hip down towards the mat, or full low lunge with the arms up. So still releasing hip down, and then finding that reach backwards, palms facing each other, fingers active. Breath is deep. And let's release both hands either side of front foot and rocking ourselves back into runner stretch. So the left leg now becomes long, extended. Left foot can flex back towards your body. The heel reaching away from the body. You can sit back towards that right heel. And you can walk your hands forwards, releasing forehead towards the knee. So you can really adjust the intensity by flexing or unflexing that left foot, and by bringing the upper body closer to your left leg or bringing it further away. So finding your Goldilocks stretch there. And coming back forwards, curl your back toes under and step forwards. Feet hip width apart, come into a full forward fold. Breath is deep. Releasing into your full forward fold, tailbone reaches up towards the sky. The knees slightly bent, the soles of the feet firmly grounded in the mat. Whole upper body like a rag doll, nice and soft. Next inhalation, bring yourself back up into a chair pose, the hands coming into a heart space and sitting down into that imaginary chair. Releasing the arms by the side. Give your legs a little walk out, left and right. Arms relaxing by your side. You may want to give your shoulders a roll. And let's come onto tippy toes. Tippy toes. Releasing heels down. Tippy toes. Releasing heels down. Giving our toes a nice little stretch. We're coming into awkward pose sequence next. So let's ground our feet hip width apart. The arms are reaching forwards, palms facing each other, thumbs up towards the sky. The spine is nice and elevated, shoulders aligned. And let's find our seat here, sitting down into that imaginary chair. Chair pose with the arms reaching forwards or upwards, whatever feels nicer. You can have a slight elevation through those arms. And finding the lowest seat, just hanging out there for a few breaths. Exhaling, releasing into a forward fold, arms coming down, relaxing the arms and placing them wherever feels good, wrapping them around the heels, the legs, placing them onto the mat, being still or rocking side to side, whatever feels good. Inhaling slowly, gently peeling back up, reaching towards the sky. Palms together, back bend if you like. And hands back together in heart space. Steadying breath for a moment. Releasing arms by the side. Second pose in the awkward pose series. Mat is a bit sticky there. So feet hip width apart, firmly grounded, the arms coming forwards, thumbs facing up towards the sky, and let's come on to tippy toes. So we're finding tippy toes, and from here we find our seat again, keeping those tippy toes active. If the tippy toes are not accessible, just two flat feet, whole surface of the foot connected. So find your awkward pose slightly more challenging when you're on tippy toes. The arms can again be straight out from the shoulders or slightly up, whichever feels best. You don't really want to completely sit down onto your lower legs, so there should be nice engagement in the legs. And exhaling, releasing into a full forward fold once more. few breaths here. Next inhale, slowly, gently peeling spine off, one vertebrae at a time. Bringing the palms above your head together, back bend if you like. And hands back into heart space. Steadying breath, closing the eyes for a few moments. Checking in with your body. And releasing the arms by the side. Last pose in the awkward series is coming onto tippy toes and bringing the knees together. Again, if it's too tough, just do tippy toes or flat feet. So if you can, tippy toes, knees together, the arms coming forwards, thumbs facing up, and sitting down into your seat. Breath is deep. Just having a few breaths here, holding and breathing and holding and breathing. And releasing into a full forward fold. Once more. Next inhalation, slowly, gently coming back up, one vertebrae at a time, reaching up. Back bend if you like. And bringing hands back into heart space. Closing the eyes for a moment, steadying breath, observing heartbeat, sensations in the body. Relaxing arms by the side and opening the eyes. Next is a balancing pose. You can choose either between tree pose. So tree pose, you would just bring one heel up and over the ankle and support yourself with the toes or the whole foot in the shin above the ankle below the knee, whole foot in the upper leg above the knee, below the pelvis, hands in heart space, arms up. If you want a bit more of a challenge, you can join me in an advanced balancing pose where we bring the knee in. So we're starting with the right leg, right foot. The left leg is our standing leg. I always like to keep a little micro bend in the standing leg. We bring the two peace fingers in of the right hand and wrap them around our right toe. So the right arm is on the inside of the right leg. I'm a bit wobbly here on the boat because we are floating, so hopefully you're a bit steadier at home. Find your Trishti point right in front of you. Left hand can come into your left hip, and from here we're trying to extend that right leg as best as we can. So if this is not accessible, just do your tree pose. So you can have your knee bent or the right leg extended fully. Finding your balance, your Trishti point. And if you feel steady enough, I'm not sure if I can manage here on my wobbly boat, but you can extend the right leg towards the right and the gaze towards the left. Breath is nice and deep. And coming back to center, slowly, gently. Give your legs a little walk out. We're going to switch to the other side. So again, you can either do your tree pose with the leg adjustment of your choice, with one foot, the left heel above your left ankle, whole left foot in the right shin, or above the knee below the pelvis. If you want and if you can join me in the more advanced pose with holding our toes. So we find the two peace fingers on our left hand and wrap them around our left toe. Left arm is on the inside of the left leg. Right hand in your right hip. And find your Trishti point in front of you. So if you can, extending the left leg as far as you can, either with bent knee or completely straight. Lengthening through the spine upwards. We don't want to lean forwards here. And once you find your steadiness and balance there, if you can, bringing that left leg out towards the left and gazing out towards the right. Holding, breathing, nice long spine. And coming back towards center, giving your legs a little walk out. And we're coming into a wide-legged forward fold, so we are stepping out towards the side so that our feet are now parallel towards the short edge of the mat. I might actually get rid of this mat. It's quite hot in the sun. So feet nice and wide and the feet parallel towards the short edge of the mat. So we want to have nice connection through the soles of the feet and the knees slightly bent. Let's bring our hands into the hips, nice elevation through the spine. Spine and neck are aligned. And from here we are hinging from the hips or folding from the hips and releasing down, placing our hands underneath our shoulders. I always like to walk the hips out a little bit to find that full flexibility and bringing that crown as close to the ground as we can manage. Having a few breaths here. Really softening, releasing through those hips. I always like to bend my knees a little bit and wiggle left and right. I'm a wiggler in my yoga practice. I don't like to be static and still. In the beginning anyway, to just allow my body to feel into that pose. From here we are lengthening up into an extended spine and placing the hands into our mat. The left arm is reaching either up towards the sky or wrapping up and around your lower back. So whichever feels more comfortable in your left shoulder, left arm coming up, reaching up or wrapped around the lower back. Breath is nice and deep. Finding that twist extension with the wide legs. Your knees can be bent. You can adjust the width of your legs. And exhaling, left hand coming back down underneath your left shoulder and right arm switching sides. Either reaching up towards the sky or wrapping up and around the lower back. Whichever feels better. And exhaling, right hand coming back down. From here we are bending the right knee quite deeply and lengthening the left leg. So right knee bending, I'm coming onto my right tippy toes. Left leg is nice and long and the toes spreading up towards the sky. I support with my hands close towards the right leg and just holding here, stretching that left leg, the hamstring, the adductor muscles, wherever you feel that. Holding, breathing. You can flex your left foot, bringing a bit more engagement in there, reaching away with the heel. And switching sides, just gently rocking up and over, lengthening the right leg. Your hands are walking with you, coming onto left tippy toes. And your right foot can now flex, reaching away through the heel, flexing the toes inwards. Staying and breathing for a few moments there. And coming into a dynamic flow, so we're just moving with our breath left and right in a more dynamic movement rather than holding. I always find it interesting to compare how the body reacts when I move dynamically and when I hold statically. Last one. And coming back to center. Let's do one more forward fold. So finding the spread of your legs again, firm connection through the soles of the feet. Micro bend in the knee, placing the hands underneath the shoulders and bringing the crown of the head as close to the mat as you can manage. Nice elevation through the tailbone. And inhaling slowly, gently bringing the spine back up. You can use your hands to support yourself. And then with a bend in the knees, bringing the hands back to your hips. And slowly coming up, one vertebrae at a time. If you like, you can interlace the hands behind your back and finding a nice back extension there. Coming back to center. Releasing the hands, the arms, and stepping forwards on your mat. Front of the mat, feet hip width apart. Let's just have a moment's pause. Closing the eyes, checking in with our breath, finding a steady, slow breath again. Noticing heartbeat. And on the inhalation, we're reaching the arms up, palms together, back bend if you like. Exhaling, full forward fold. Let's walk the feet apart on the mat, so they are on the other edge of the mat on a slight angle. So the toes are slightly pointed outwards, the heels inwards. Coming again into dynamic movement, squat forward fold on the inhalation. We're releasing pelvis down, spine coming up. On the exhalation, forward fold. Inhale, squat. And exhale, full forward fold. On the squat, I gaze upwards towards the sky. Exhaling, releasing down. A couple more. And last one. We're finishing in a squat. And from here, you can use your hands to find a seat. From here, we are going to transition into a boat pose. So you're finding your seat. You may want to move some flesh of your seat out towards the side. The feet are in front of a seat so the legs are in a kind of a triangle shape. The hands supporting gently behind the upper leg, so we don't want to grip on really hard. It's just a soft touch. It might come sideways so you can see the ankle and the triangle. So what we want to avoid here is having a rounded spine. We really want to lift through the spine and have a nice open chest. So gentle support with the hands underneath the upper legs and then sliding the toes in. So you can have the toes supporting on the floor. If you can lift them off. Hands can support or they can come off. So if you feel comfy there, you can bring the legs parallel to the mat, to the floor. I always like to give my ankles a little roll there as well. Again, hands can support, or you can have them by the side with the thumbs facing up. I'm feeling a bit rocky on the boat here. Holding, breathing. So really try to keep that spine nice and elevated. And exhaling, releasing down. Bring your legs into butterfly, so the soles of the feet together, and just counter posing, releasing the upper body forwards, just for a few moments. Knees are outwards, downwards towards the ground. You can hold the feet with your hands and just completely releasing that whole upper body forwards, just allowing it to hang for a few moments. Next inhalation, peeling up, and we're coming onto our back. So let's lie onto our mat. And from here, the feet are still in front of our seat, with the knees pointing up towards the sky. The arms can relax by the side of your body. We're coming into abdominal work for a bit. There are a couple of options. If you feel like your spine is very loaded during those movements, you can leave the upper body down. If you feel like you can bring the upper body up, you can use the hands interlaced behind your neck. But I always say it's almost like a cushion, like the hands form a cushion for the neck to rest on. So there's no pulling on the neck, that's too strong stimulation for the neck. So just have a very gentle engagement in the hands. You don't pull yourself up through the hands. So it's really the abdominal muscles that do the work here. So you have the option of coming up or staying down. So let's start with a relatively easy one, which is very effective abdominal work. So we bring the lower legs parallel to the mat and really rocking pelvis back and forth to find the proper extension for your spine there, so that your spine doesn't kick in. I like to have my feet flexed, so the toes pointing up towards the sky and the lower legs are parallel towards the floor. We bring the hands in just below the knees, and then we counter push. We push with the legs into the hands, with the hands into the legs. Navel is drawing in towards the spine. So if I bring my finger into my abs, I really notice there's something happening there. So if you want, you can bring the upper body up and still push. It's a bit more intense. Once you have had enough, releasing back, hugging the knees in. Just resting for a moment. We're going to do 3 of those. You can give your spine a little roll. So just finding how many breaths you can have with the pushing and then releasing, hugging the knees in. So if you can, one more. Bringing the lower legs parallel to the floor. Your upper body can come up or stay down, whichever you want. And bringing the hands onto the upper legs, pushing with the hands into the legs, with the legs into the hands. Few breaths there. Don't hold your breath. And hugging knees in. Very effective to strengthen our abdominals. Again, you can give your spine a little roll. If you want, one more. Lower legs parallel towards the mat. Hands on the upper legs. If you want, you can bring the upper body up, pushing into hands, hands into legs, feet flexed. And releasing. Breath is deep. Allowing the abs to relax for a little bit. Last one, we place the feet in front of the seat once more. This time you can interlace the hands behind your neck. And we bring the knees off, the feet off the mat. So from here we are extending the right leg out long, and the lower you bring it to the mat, the more intense. Pointing the toes of the right leg, the left knee coming in towards the body. So what we are doing here is swapping over. Left leg extending long, toes pointed, right knee coming in. So just cycling the legs, holding the upper body up or releasing it down. Doing a few cycles in your own time. And hugging the knees in, releasing down. Giving your spine a little roll. Having a few breaths. And one last one with the cycling legs. Inhaling, you can either bring the upper body up with the hands just supporting very gently, or you can leave the upper body down. You choose. And then just cycling the legs. One leg extending, one knee hugging in, and then swapping over. Upper body can be up or down, both work on our abdominal strength. And hugging knees in. Breathing into your belly, allowing the abs to relax. You may want to even come into a happy baby pose, grabbing soles of the feet from the outside, giving your spine a little roll left and right. And let's bring feet in front of our seat for a lying twist. So the arms coming nice and wide, shoulders sink into the mat. The legs can either be side by side and then just drop towards the right, or you can bring the left leg up and over the right leg and then drop towards the right. So we are dropping towards the right first. So if you have one leg up and over, the left leg is coming up and over the right leg, and then you can release the knees towards the right. Gaze can either go towards the left, up towards the sky, or up and over towards the right. My mat has heated up again from the sun. I'm scorching my feet. Breath is deep, just release into your twist. Both shoulders releasing, have special awareness of your left shoulder, releasing back into the mat. Neck is wherever it feels comfortable. Next inhalation, slowly, gently coming back to center. Releasing left leg from the right if you have tucked it over, and we're going towards the left now. So again, you can have both feet side by side and just drop your knees towards the left. Or you can have the right leg up and over the left for a bit more intensity, and then releasing into the twist in the opposite direction. So the knees are towards the left, gaze can come up and over towards the right, having an awareness of the right shoulder dropping back into the mat. Nice open chest. Breath is deep. Find a comfortable extension for your neck. Slowly, gently bringing these back to center and preparing for your Shavasana. So if you like now, you can bring in a cushion underneath your head, a plankie up and over your body. You could have a bolster or a cushion underneath your knees for more comfort. Making yourself really comfy. Sometimes it feels nicer to lie in a recovery pose on your side, so just assess for yourself what feels right for you today. I really recommend having 5 to 10 minutes in your Shavasana. It won't be fully instructed, so I will talk you into it, and then you just stay for as long as feels right for you. So finding your position, lying on your back or on your side, making yourself really comfy, closing the eyes and letting go of the awareness of the breath. Really dropping the whole body into the mat. Releasing the shoulders back into the mat. The face is nice and soft. The eyes softly closed, dropping back into your eye sockets. Forehead, eyebrows relaxing. Teeth slightly separated. Relaxing the jaw, neck is comfortable. Shoulders dropping into the mat. Arms, hands, fingers, fully relaxed in whatever positioning feels right for you by the side of your body. Maybe you want to place a hand on your heart, one on your belly, or both on your belly. Torso, seat, organs fully relaxed, at ease. Legs, feet and toes fully relaxed and at ease. Feet dropping out towards whatever direction they desire. Whole body is now at rest, at ease. There's no more doing, just being. Allowing yourself to just enjoy stillness, to rest and to relax. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.